Welcome to episode 535 of the show. We're still on the thread of using email to ask for customer referrals. So, if we accept that some forms of communication are more effective than others, then the key question, I'm sure you must have figured out by listening to past episodes, the key question now is which is the best mode or media to use to reach out to our customers to be sure that everyone is happy before we make the referral. In case this is your first time of listening to the podcast, it's something that we've broached in the past that asking for referrals is good. Proactively asking for referrals is good, but we have to make sure that people are happy before we ask. Because if we don't ask if people are happy before asking for a referral, then we run the risk of introducing some attrition or bad blood into the process. So that's why it's important to be sure that everyone's happy and that there are no outstanding customer service issues before we ask for the referral. So the options that we've explored so far on the podcast are text-based communications like email, what else? Questionnaires, text messaging, stuff like that. Basically, keyboard options, and then audio-based forms. That's whether you call in over the phone, you call in over WhatsApp phone call, or what's that thing called? Audio on Google Meet and things like that. For this process, we'll also accept Skype audio as audio based. And then, of course, we also looked at video based platforms as where you just enable the video if you happen to be using WhatsApp or Skype. Let's see what else. Does Telegram have a video option? I'm not quite sure. And you get the point for video based options. And then face to face or in person. Now, maybe in a few years, I might have to add something about the metaverse, but for now, since none of us are using the metaverse actively, and I don't know anyone who's actively using the metaverse for business purposes, and I doubt that you do. But when that time comes, maybe we might have to put something there about the metaverse as well. So, are text-based forms of communication a good way to figure out if the customer is happy? It definitely is the easiest to scale because if you're going to use text, SMS, WhatsApp broadcast, email, and all that, is the easiest to scale because with one click you can send out your questionnaire, your survey, your text, your pitch, your whatever it is to 1,000 customers with just one click. But this doesn't mean that you're going to get the most effective feedback from the process, and we're going to see why in the rest of the podcast when we look at the limitations of text. But for now, I will admit that text-based forms, SMS, emails, questionnaires, stuff like that, they're the fastest and they're the easiest to scale. I have to admit that because I've been proposing using the telephone over the past couple of episodes, but I'm sure you can do the math. If you're going to pick up the phone, make a phone call, each phone call lasts 5 minutes. Not only might you be spending quite a bit of money, but the investment in time is also going to be significant if you're going to if you're planning to talk to 100 people versus trying to reach out to them through email. All you have to do is compose, try and personalize a little bit, copy and paste, and then send, and you can be done in a matter of minutes rather than the hours, assuming you have 100 people to talk to. So yes, I will admit that text-based forms are real fast and real easy to scale. Now, there's the problem with text. You might not get as much information that you will if you are doing a face-to-face or over the phone. Because if you're using one of those drop-down menu kind of things, if you're using is it SurveyMonkey or one of those Google form type of things, then 99% of customers might say on a scale of 1 to 5 that they're on a 5 because they are dissatisfied with the service that they received. Now, that is bad feedback, assuming that you do get 99% of people respond to your survey saying that they are dissatisfied on a scale of 1 to 5. But you don't get a sense of how bad the problem is than if you were to use other forms of communication that give you much more, what should I say, tactile? No, not tactile. That give you much more richer feedback. For instance, that same survey, you call 20 customers and then close to half of them say things like, what you did was unnecessary, that part of the package was unnecessary, this was cumbersome, I didn't appreciate XYZ, I was let down by ABC. Maybe you have one or two people using some cuss words. And apart from that, you're also going to be able to get tension over the phone. In fact, over the phone, tension is undeniable over the phone and in face to face. Now, that gives you a true sense of what the problem is that your email or that your drop down menu is not going to convey, because you're currently face to face with the person, or you're listening over the phone and you can pick out some things in the context, some nuance, some tones, some inflection, some aggression, some disappointment, joy, elation, different kinds of emotions that don't come across real well over text based forms of communication. So, if the goal is to be sure that the customer is absolutely pumped and really happy before you ask for a referral, then perhaps text based forms might not be the best media to use for now. By the way, who's not to say that we can do a mix and match? Make some phone calls now, get some intel, then send emails, and then maybe follow up through SMS. So it's we ought not to be thinking about these things in a very linear fashion. So we might be thinking um, mixed media, but at this point, we know for sure that email, SMS, Survey Monkey, this might not be the best ways to go about figuring out if our customers are happy for now, if the whole point is to ask them for a referral. So remember, like more things we discuss on the podcast, these things are contextual. So if you run a national bank, then of course you can't go through the hassle of calling everyone. But if you're a wedding photographer, you do interior decor, you're some sort of consultant, you're a personal shopper, let's say you're a tennis coach for teens during the long holidays, because currently it's going to be Christmas in 2 days at the time of this recording. So all you personal coaches, football coaches, tennis coaches, table tennis, chess, whatever it is, if you run that kind of business or that kind of service, then perhaps text-based forms might not be the best for you or for your business. So for the wedding photographer or for the tennis coach, you want to speak to mom and dad and the ward who you're teaching to be sure that they were happy with the lessons, and that there are no outstanding problems before you now ask mom for referrals about who else she thinks might be interested in the program. So that's it for today's episode. Thanks again for listening to episode 535. Remember that you guys can hit me up on WhatsApp or Telegram. Send me a voice note or a message asking questions and giving feedback. And the number is 080 6466 2140, and the country code is +234.